同学们好. Good to see everybody. It is class 13. It is October the 25th. So last week we did step back repulse monkeys. This time we're going to be working on, we'll review step back repulse monkey again. And we'll also this time go into diagonal flying, which is only a two-step movement, but it's quite a big step. So it's quite a hard movement to do. Let us begin with our warm-ups. And so let us begin with standing practice. And we'll do parallel stance, and then we'll do bow stance, because we're back into bow stance for diagonal flying. So, oh yes, and I will be doing some exercises in the chair. So if you want to do the standing exercises in the chair, have that ready. So bend the knees, circle the arms in front of the chest. And hello, Maria, welcome.
Hi.
So begin this time by observing your breathing. Just see where we're starting today. So as you breathe in and out, see how your abdomen is moving. As you breathe in, your abdomen should expand. As you breathe out, it'll contract. And this is the kind of breathing we want in the form all the time. Breathing into the dantian is the catchphrase. But we use our good posture to improve how deeply we can breathe. So let's do our posture checks. So feel your head lifting up, rising up. Then as your head rises up, the head is light. Everything else from the neck on down is sinking, hanging like clothes on a clothes hanger. In particular, feel your shoulder blades sinking and the elbows dropping. Feel your chest absorbed, opening your back from left to right by pulling your elbows away from your back. And complete the circle, your fingertips pulling away from the wrists, pulling away from the elbows. So that opens left, right. Open your back up and down by relaxing the waist, which is dropping your hips straight down, so that your lumbar spine straightens out. And so we're opening the back side to side and up and down. See again whether your breathing has changed. So observe breathing in, breathing out. And when you practice this on your own, it's quite nice to do the posture, do the breathing, do the posture, do the breathing, and see how you can improve your posture to make the breathing easier. We want the same posture and the same breathing when we're moving, but it's easier to train our body into what it should be expecting it to feel like when we're here. And so if you can, feel your arms opening, the circle opening, feel your spine lengthening, feel the weight on your feet, even front and back, even left and right. So let's go into a bow stance. Shift your weight to one side, open the other foot, shift your weight onto that foot, step forward into a bow stance. Your torso comes forward, your chest is square, head up, shoulders sinking, elbows dropping. Absorb the chest, relax the waist, and observe the weight on your feet. Make sure that both feet are rooted, that you can feel, if you push back with the front leg, you can feel it pushing into the back foot. If you push with the back leg, you can feel it in the front foot. Equal weight on the ball and the heel of both feet. And do your breathing. We'll just do 1 minute here in this stance, and now we'll change to the other side. So shift your weight back, pick up the foot, put the front foot at the back, shift your weight over, step out into a bow stance on the other side. So here your torso is in line with the back leg, head up, shoulders sinking, chest absorbed, waist relaxed. One of the things to observe is to round your crotch. You want the knees and the toes on both legs pointing in the same direction. So make sure that you're not like this. Make sure your crotch is rounded. You can't always look at your feet or your legs, so feel your feet, that the weight on the inside of your feet and the outside of the feet are the same, but the weight on the heel and the ball is the same. Let's change back to the first bow stance. This time we'll only do 30 seconds here, but just so that you can, because we want to be, whenever we do a bow stance, we want to be in this posture. The forward bow stance, when we're doing single whip, the torso is vertical. But feel the expansion, feel your elbows expanding out, feel your head lifting up, feel your hips dropping down. Change to the other side. Into a bow stance here. Last 20 seconds. And see how your breathing is doing. Actually, this is a nice workout. It's a nice, gentle workout. And we'll finish. So just come back into a parallel stance. And since we've been standing for a moment, let's just gently rotate the hips, just gently to get things moving. 4 times in one direction, 4 times in the other direction. Okay. Bend the knees and just turn your chest, let your chest shake your arms, and just go chest left and right. This will gently warm up your lower back. And as you get warmed up, you can add a bit more energy to it. See how your chest moves your arms. Now let's do the shoulders. So bending your knees, opening the arms. We'll do 4. That's number 2, 3, and 3, 4, and 4. And now we'll do the other direction. 1, 1, 2, to keep those shoulders down as you do this. 3, 3, 4, 4. Okay. We'll be using the chair to do the standing practice. You don't have to, but if you need it for balance. But before we do that, I want to show you another exercise, which is one of Kelly Hong Williams's exercises. It's a warm up for your hip joint. So standing on one leg, put the other leg in front of you, and you're just going to change from touching the big toe to touching the little toe. And what you're doing is you're rotating the whole thigh bone. 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. So let's change to the other side. So big toe, little toe. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. And first side. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. Change. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. One of the nice things about this exercise, it looks very simple, but it's quite a sophisticated exercise. Obviously, you're rotating your thigh bone in your hip socket, which is good, but it's also training the other side of your hip, because if you have to keep your hip stationary, you're actually working on this side as well. So it's a really nice exercise. So now we're going to do the hip openers we've been doing. Today, in fact, is the payoff for the hip openers, because as you know, when you do diagonal flying, it's quite a big step. So that's why we've been doing this exercise. So if you need to hold on to something, please do. Otherwise, just use your discretion. So here we go. So we're going to start an open. We'll do 5 on each side. 1, 2. Make sure you don't twist your standing knee. You're just opening 4 and 5. You're just opening the groin. On the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if 5 is not enough for you when you practice on your own, do 10 or do 15 or more. So now let's do a little bit of waist warming up, waist openers. So you can just stand with your knees bent or sit on a nice hard chair. The advantage of sitting on a chair is that it immobilizes your hips so that you are not moving your hips, you're just moving your shoulders from side to side. So, arms circled in front, we're going to go what we call horizontal circles from side to side. So 1, 1, 2, 2, and be very careful, don't overdo it. 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. I'm going to change my position. You don't have to change your position, but just so that you can see what we're doing. Now we're going to go forward and back. So the hands are not going to move, but my chest is going to move. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. Okay. Now we're going to go side to side. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. That's looking good. 5, 5, 6, 6. And let's finish with the vertical. So those two are what we call vertical circles when the chest is moving in this way. When we're going round and round, we call it horizontal. So let's do some horizontal circles to finish. This is what we started with. So let's do 6 more. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, and stop. Put your chair away if you've been using a chair. So we will be doing we'll be using both this exercise and this exercise when we do diagonal flying today. So you'll see why we've been doing that. Since we are getting into the second section, we're not going to do the whole first section together. I'm just going to start at the beginning of the second section. When we practice the form, starting at 5 o'clock after this class is over, we'll be practicing the first section together. So for those of you who can stay, we'll practice then and review that. let's just practice the beginning of the second section, but after that, if you have any questions about any of those movements or any of the movements in the first section, we can review. Good, so we're going to start, and I'm going to use my little red flag. This will be the front of the room for me. So this is the front of the room where the screen is for you. So we're all starting in the same direction. I can bring that in a bit. It doesn't have to be that far. Okay, so we are starting in cross hands. Beginning, any questions? No. Okay. Beginning of the second section, cross hands. Embrace tiger, return to the mountain. Roll back. Press. Push. Fist under elbow, transition. Fist under elbow. Step back, repulse monkey. Two. Three. And stop. So that's how far we've gone in the second section. Are there any questions before we practice that a bit more? Rogelio, looks like you have a question.
Can you hear me well?
I can hear you.
Okay. And that when you go from under elbow, punch under elbow or something like that. Yeah. When you start the repulsive monkey, you lift your trunk a little bit, right?
Yes.
Is that the same in the other repulse monkeys? I mean, are you from doing a little bit of this when you're twisting your hand, preparing for the next repulse?
Yes. Yes, I think so. So let me just make sure I understand the question. So what you're saying is from fist under elbow, when I start, I seem to be shifting back. Am I doing the same thing in the other ones? So let's just review. So we've done.
Yeah, you said you do let it like this.
Yeah. Okay. So here. Okay. So we're in fist under elbow. So the front is still over there for me. So what I have to do is I've got 30% on this front foot. I'm going to be stepping back. So I'm going to release the weight on the front foot by shifting my weight back. So that's what is happening here. So as I start shifting back and my left arm starts rotating, right arm rotates, I go into repulse monkey on the other side. So now here I've got 30% again on the front foot. In order to step back, I've got to release the weight. So here I'm also going to, as I rotate the front arm and circle the right, I'm shifting my weight back and go. So generally, and we'll see this in diagonal flying today, the first thing you start doing is you start shifting the weight, and that weight shift is what makes everything else go.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Thank you.
Okay. That's an excellent question. Any other questions? So let's practice. We did repulse monkey last week, so let's just do the two movements before that a few times, and then we'll do repulse monkey a few times and review that. So I will call some cues just to remind us about where we are. So let's start again in cross hands. So we're in cross hands. We're going to do embrace tiger, return to the mountain. Shift weight slightly to the right, pivot on the left foot almost to straight. Sitting back weight, drop the right elbow, right arm extends. Now circle left arm down, right arm up, connect, brushing out, and then bend the knee. Your final posture, your right knee, your right foot is inside corner. Roll back. One, start shifting your weight back. Lift the right arm, rotate the left. Now, as you finish shifting your weight, connect out with the right arm. Left arm is rounded, fingertips to forearm center, and then roll your torso to the left. Press, turning your chest back, rotate the right arm, left palm to right forearm center, pushing from the back leg, pressing out. Push, flatten the palms, square the chest in the direction of the front foot. Bring your palms back horizontally. They go around the ball at the back, sitting vertically, pushing out as you shift your weight back. You're ending 60% on the front. Fist under elbow transition. Shift weight back, flatten the palms. As the arms separate, pivot the right foot to the front. Arms come to the front left corner. Now the arms come back in front of your chest like single whip, but you end up by pushing to the side with the right hand. Left arm rounded, fingertips forearm center. Now you're going to do fist under elbow. So step out, left foot to the corner, center line to sides. Shift weight forward, connect out. As the right foot steps, rotate the left arm. As your weight shifts onto the right foot, pull down with the left. Connect, root with the right foot, then lift with the left and punch under. And then we'll do repulse monkey next. So let's just do that one again. So we're starting, and actually I'll face in the other direction in case you want to check anything. So I'm going to look in the other direction. So we're in cross hands. Embrace tiger, return to the mountain. Shift weight to the right. Turn the left toe in. Sitting the weight back. Right arm goes out. Now circle the arms. Close and step to the back corner. Brush forward with the right hand. Strike out with the left. You're in a forward bow stance. Roll back. Start shifting back weight. Rotate the left arm, right arm to the shoulder. Then connect out with the right forearm. Left arm rounded and do your roll back. Press. Rotating the body. Rotate both arms. Left palm center of right forearm at an angle. Press forward. Push. Flatten the palms, arms shoulder height horizontal, pull back, come down in front of the chest, sit the palms vertical, push up and out. You're in push. Fist under elbow transition. Sit back, flatten the palms, separate the arms with body turning. Now keep circling. Pivot on the right heel, foot comes to the front, arms to the corner, arms come back in front of your body. Pushing out to the side, release your hips so that both feet are now pointing to the front. Fist under elbow, step out, center line to sides, left foot to the corner. Shifting your weight forward, connect out with the left hand. Stepping with the right foot, grab with the left. Shift the weight to the right foot, pull down with the left arm. Now, touch with the left heel, root forward as you lift up and punch under. Let's go on. Repulse monkey. Shifting weight back, rotate the left arm, swing the right arm to the right, step back, toe touch, center line to side, shift your weight back, palm in front of shoulder, foot flat. Now, pulling with the left hand, pushing out with the right. Number 2, shift weight back, rotate the right hand, step back, toe, ball, heel, foot flat, left palm in front of the shoulder, pushing out. When you're finished, look over your tiger's mouth, the left hand, right hand by the right hip. Number 3, circle, step back, arm at the outs, toe touch, right arm in, foot flat, pull, shifting the weight back, and stop. So that's repulse monkey. Are there any questions about repulse monkey? Any more questions? Yeah, okay. So why don't you do repulse monkey on your own a few times and I'll watch. That's looking really good. One of the things that I noticed quite a few of us are doing, which is really nice, is So for example, Lorraine, you're doing a lovely swing here. That's a lovely circle. And I'm seeing the strike. So, people are remembering that this arm out, we're actually connecting with the heel of that right hand. So it's not square like this, it's slightly sitting. It's not like this, it's slightly turned. One of the things that I notice in a couple of cases, just be sure of that when we swing back. Remember when we were doing this exercise, we're sinking the chest and making sure that our chest doesn't open. So when you swing back the left, well, actually you're going to swing back both arms from time to time, but make sure that this arm is going to circle probably about only to here. It's not going to go all the way back. So make sure that when you circle the right arm, that you're not opening your arm too much. So for example, if I were to look at it from the front, it would look like this. It wouldn't look like this. So make sure that you're keeping your shoulders sinking and your elbow dropping. Yes, good. One last thing that I want to remind us, and I wasn't very clear on this, I think last week, when we finish with repulse monkey, the position of the hand is down here. So it's when we finish the pull, it pulls down to the hip crease. So by hip crease, I mean it's like when you bend your leg about there, that's where your hand is pulling down to. So it's not pulling down to here, it's pulling down to here. So it's quite open. So let's do that together a few times. And I will first practice in the same direction as you. So we're in fist under elbow, empty stance with the right foot forward. Oh, nope, empty stance with the left leg forward, heel touch. Okay. So one, step back, rotate the left arm, circle the right arm, make sure you don't circle too far back, foot flattens, hand by the shoulder, and then pull and strike with body turning. Check your left arm by the hip, your right arm is striking out. Number two, shifting weight back, rotate the right, swing the left, toe, ball, heel. Now with body turning, pull with your right hand, strike out with the left, looking over the tiger's mouth of the left hand. Number three, circle, toe touch, arm out, foot flat, arm in, pull and strike. Okay, let's do that one more time. And if there are any questions, this is a good time to ask. So we're in fist under elbow, empty stance, left leg forward, punching under here. So fist under elbow, circle, step, toe ball, heel, foot flat, arm by the shoulder, and pull and strike. Shoulders down, elbows down. Number two, rotate, circle, step, heel, ball, toe, arm in, and pull. Three, circle, toe ball, heel, arm in, and strike. One of the things I want to just mention, since all of us are experienced players, of course, when we train and teach and talk about it, we break it down into these freeze frames. We count 1, 2, 3, 4. But as you start doing it and you start knowing it better, you don't have to do all the freeze frames. We don't have to think about them. So let me show you two ways of counting repulse monkey. One, putting in lots of steps, 4 steps in all, and the other one just 2, so that you can see how gradually you can smooth the movement out. So let's say we are doing, I'll do it from here. So 1 would be circle out. 2 is palm in. So 1 arm at the side, 2 arm in. So let me start again. So 1, start shifting back the weight, rotate. 2, circle, toe touch. 3, foot flat. 4, strike. I'll do it on the other side. So 1, start shifting back your weight, start rotating the front hand. 2, step back, left arm is now out. 3, foot flat. 4, strike. So you can see that I make a distinction between when my toe is touching, my arm is at the side. When my foot is flat, my arm is in. You don't have to really think about that. After a while, you're just going to do it in 2 count. So let me show you the 2 count, and then we'll practice the 2 count together. So the 2 count would be 1 is just step back to here. This is 1. And then this is 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And so this is just a different way of thinking about it. 1 is storage, 2 is release. 1 is storage, 2 is release. Okay. Any questions?
I find that I am thinking too hard. And so, and I'm almost counting. And then when you say shoulders down, I don't even know how to do that.
Yes, yes, yes.
What's
That's
hard
a
for
very,
me?
so Maria makes a very good point, which is one can overthink it, and I do myself overthink it sometimes. One of the things one can do is to just, and in fact, when we practice, just do the form and don't think. Don't try and do the counts. Just see where your body ends up. The reason I said shoulders down is because I noticed some people's shoulders were coming up, and I know that my shoulder sometimes comes up, but you can't do that all the time. There are just too many things. So thank you for raising that, Maria. It's a very good point.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go on and do diagonal flying. So let me show diagonal flying first. So if this is the front, we've done step back repulse monkey, and I'll show it from 2 sides, and then we'll just practice the footwork and the arm movements and then do it together. So I'm sorry. Okay. So diagonal flying, shifting weight back, start circling the arms. Bring the right foot in, step the right foot out, arms close, shift the weight forward, and then separate. This is how we do it. And so let me show it from the other side. So from the other side, it would look something like this. Start shifting the weight back. The arms circle. You're stepping out and do diagonal flying. And your ending posture, arm up, left hand by the side here. So let's break it down. This is quite a difficult movement because of that footwork. I'm sure that we've all struggled with that footwork. Oh, I'm sorry. So let me just check. Rogelio is having trouble hearing me. Can the rest of you hear me okay?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you do. Okay, so Rogelio is having rain problems. So sorry about that, Rogelio. Okay, let's first do the footwork. So I'm going to, let's just do the footwork, and I'll show you the footwork the way that the standard form is done, and then we'll talk about ways to accommodate ways, because this is an almost impossible movement to do, so we need workarounds. Okay, so we've done the last repulse monkey here, and you can see my left foot is to the corner. My footwork is I'm going to bring my right foot in, I'm going to step behind me, and you can see my right foot is also now to the other corner, parallel, so my feet are 180 degrees apart. I'm going to shift my weight forward, bring the left foot in so that my left foot is to the front. So you can see that I'm in a bow stance. So let's just show that again. So we're starting here, bring the foot in, open the hips, step out, keep moving, bring the left foot in. So This footwork is not entirely new. This technique we have seen before, which is it's essentially stepping into a bow stance behind you. So if you think about what we did with cross hands, so I turned and I stepped into a bow stance. This is the same principle of stepping behind me, but we're doing a much bigger step. There's a couple of things that help with doing this movement. And so let's just do it a few times together. I'll be going in the same direction as you. And then we'll talk about some of the things one can do to make it easier, because it may be that you don't need them, or maybe you'll find that they help. Okay, so just footwork. So we've done the repulse monkey. We're in empty stance, right foot forward. Bring the right foot in, step behind you, open, bring the left foot around. You're ending up in the bow stance. So let's try that again. Bring the right foot in, step behind you, and go into a bow stance. There's two things that will help with this. One is don't stop halfway and get stuck. Very often when I'm teaching, I'll stop halfway through and talk, at which point everybody falls over, including me. So just keep moving. The other thing is when you come around, try and open your hips when you step. When you step behind you, you can actually point your foot. When your heel comes down, it doesn't have to be in the final direction. You can always open it later as your weight goes forward. The last thing that I want to mention is distinguish empty and full. So when we're here, open the hips, keep your weight on the left, step, and once you've stepped, then move your weight over to the right. Don't move your weight over to the right too soon. Now, this is hard. So let's talk about a couple of ways that we can make it easier. The reason why we've been doing this exercise is to open our groins so that these kinds of steps are easier, but it takes time. So when you step, let me get my ruler again. When you step behind you, you don't have to get to the corner. If you just get to the straight, that's fine. Then you can go into a bow stance. It won't be a bow stance to the corner. It'll be a bow stance to the front. So let me show you. So here you can see my line is now not to the corner, it's to the straight. I'm going to just step here and go into a bow stance. So again, you can see I'm in a bow stance. I'm now facing forward. It means I haven't had to open my hips so far. So you can just do that. That's fine. Let's try that a couple of times and see how that goes. And if that doesn't work, I've got another suggestion. So we're going to do a smaller step. Shift the weight back, step out as far around as you can, shift over, bring the left foot in so that there's a 45 degrees between your left foot and your right foot. And if you're facing towards the front, that's fine. Let's do that again. So we're in our repulse monkey. Step, open, go forward, check that you're in a bow stance. The most important thing is that you end in a bow stance, which means you want space between your heels. So let me show you what I mean by not getting into a bow stance. Let's just say we're on this line. If I step here, you can see when I close my foot, my feet are one line, two sides. My foot should be here, not here. I want to make sure that I'm in a bow stance at this point. How's that? Does that help anybody? Go ahead, Lorraine.
Yeah, this is very hard. And so once you get to straight,
If you're doing the second way, what do you do after that? You
Ah,
just stay straight?
yes, yes, you just finished there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll show you the two versions just so as I understand your question, it's like, so do you do anything different in the movement? Do you finish differently? No. So I'll show you the two ways. One is the standard way, where I try and get to the back corner and I open. And now you can see my final position is to the corner. But if I just do a smaller turn and I go to the front, now you can see my bow stance is to the front, but nothing has changed.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that one.
Yeah, do that one. And then what you can do over time is as you get stronger and your hips are more and more open, try stepping wider and wider. So that eventually, maybe, you know, we'll get to the point where it's wide enough.
Okay, thanks.
Go ahead, Ronald.
And so at the end, there should be space between the feet.
Yes. So at the end, we're in a bow stance. And so the way, so just to review, oops, that shouldn't be there. So, you know, the standard thing about like, how do we check we're in a bow stance? You take your back foot, you make it parallel to your front foot, whichever direction your front foot is pointing. Imagine both feet are on rails. Bring this one forward. It should be shoulder width apart. So that's what you're aiming for. One of the things that some people find very useful is to actually, yeah, let me use a little piece of fluff that should work, is if you want to figure out where to put your foot down, right? Where do you aim? So what they would do, what you can do is, so you want to end up in a bow stance here, right? So you put the little piece of fluff there. Keep your right heel pivoting in the same place. Now when I turn, I know where I'm aiming. So that's where your foot has to go to get, so work back. That's where you're going to aim your foot.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I consistently do is my steps are too long and too narrow. So I think I need to work on shortening and to be able to get wider.
Yes, I can relate. I have the same problem. What I find, and you may find the same thing, and it's the same with Fair Lady Work shuttles, where we actually do this, you know, actually there it's not 180, it's just 135, is if your step is too long, you sort of flop forward and, you know, you're double weighted. And for me, it's a question of vanity. I sort of feel I should have a nice long stance, and so I try for the long stance, and it doesn't look very nice. The other thing to aim for that the long stance doesn't help with is what we're trying to do is, so when we're here, as we come forward, we're gradually bending the knee all the way around. So it's so you're actually coming from here, and then as your weight comes around and the back toe comes in, you want to bend your knee. What I find, if my step is too long, I end up just flopping to this side and then everything comes around. I don't have the control. You've probably found the same thing. So let me just talk briefly about if that's still too hard, or if there's some days where your hips are not cooperating. There is another thing you can do, another way to do this step, to do this footwork. And that is what we call a tap step. So let's say I'm here. I'm going to step behind me with my right foot, and I'm just going to put my weight onto the right foot, turn my left foot to where it's supposed to be, which is to the front, shift my way back onto the front foot, then I'm going to step out into a bow stance. So it's almost like, you know, time stands still for a moment when you do this tap step. So let's just review that footwork again. So what you would do is you do a tap step with the right foot, bring the left foot around first, step out with the right foot, now you finish the movement. And so, Lorraine, this is similar to the question you were asking here. We're going to do the arm movement in a moment. What you end up doing is, you actually keep your arms in the same place while you adjust your feet, and then you finish. So it does put a bit of a break in it, but that's also a way to accommodate that footwork. Okay, so let's talk about the arm movements. Yep. So I'm going to go in the same direction, and I'm not going to worry about the footwork. So let's just think about the arm movement. So what we're going to do, the screen I'm imagining is in front there, so you can see me from the side. The arms are going to circle and close. So the arms are going to close, and then the arms are going to open. So again, from here, we're going to circle the arms, and then with body turning, we're going to open the arms. Right? So let's just do the right arm, just the right arm, which starts out here. We're going to circle it down, and then it's going to go from down to up. So it's going to start out, circle down, from down to up. The left hand. So the left hand is going to go up first, and then it's going to go down, starting with the left hand. So the left hand goes up and comes down and finishes in front of the hips. One of the things that I want to just remind you is we want this being Tai Chi, and we want to practice continuously. Everything is in a circle. So when you do this with both your arms, try and make sure that you can find the circles. So let's just think about that. So for example, if I'm here, you can see my left arm is going to go in a circle like this, and then it's going to pull down. So this is a circle. This is a circle. My right arm is going to come down and in, and then up and out. So it's down and in, up and out. So it's all in one circle. The last thing that I want to mention is that when we open, when this arm comes up, most of the movement of the arm through space is through your is through your waist turning. It's not the shoulder opening like this. It's actually the waist turning like this, because you've got a lot more muscles here. You've got a lot more power doing this than you have doing this, because there's not very much stuff here. So let's do the arm movements and the footwork together. So I'm going to face in the same direction as you. So we're here. So one, circle the arms, close the arms and step, shift your weight forward, right arm goes up, left arm comes down. Let's do that again. So shifting weight back, start circling the arms, turn your chest, and then step out when the arms are closed, shift your weight forward as the arms open. Again. Start shifting back your weight, start circling your arms, bring the right foot in, step the right foot out, arms close when the heels touch, keep shifting forward, right arm comes up, left arm comes down. Do it again. Shift back weight, circle both arms, turn your chest, step, now shift forward onto the right, opening the arms. Let me do it so you can follow along or just watch. Take a little break. I just want to talk a little bit about this movement of the waist and the final positions of the arms and the hands. So I'm going to do it in this direction. So I'm change to 180 degrees. So I'm going to close the arms and step. Now here you can see I'm actually going to do this, and next time we're practicing it, I'm going to ask you to actually go 1, 2, 3. So to just get the sense of 1, 2, 3, and you can see that on 1 and 2, when I'm just practicing my waist movement, I'm not shifting my weight. So this is not where the power comes from. You can see when my front knee bends, this is where the power comes from. And you can see it's this chest turn. So when you finish, there's the angle between your arm and your chest is a little bit more than 90 degrees, but it's not it's not like this. It's more like this. So it's not like this, it's more like this. The other thing to look out for is this left arm is going to come down over the forearm, the right forearm. So it's going to come down here, and it's going to end in front of your hip and a little bit forward. So one of the problems that we always have is when we do this movement, we end up with this hand back here. The left arm is not back there, it's here. So it's not back here, it's in front of the hips and a little bit of space. And one way to check whether this left arm is in the right position is relax your left arm, sit the wrist, bend the elbow, open the armpit. That's where your left hand is going to be. Like, yes, that's very nice, Ronald. Yeah, nice open armpit. And when you finish, try and have the upper arm is straight but not locked. It's about face height, and your head is up looking over the fingertips. This is one of the very few places in the form where we're actually looking up. The other place we look up is, in fact, wild horse parts its mane, which looks just like this. So let me ask Susan to join us, because I want to talk about the technique, the martial art technique that we're using here, that will actually give you some sort of reason why you want to have this arm come down and this arm come up. All right. So Susan is wearing her dinosaur hoodie today. So imagine you are being attacked by a dinosaur. Okay, so the dinosaur is going to attack me from this side. So I'm here. So the dinosaur is going to attack. And so what I do is I feel the dinosaur coming from behind me. I'm going to step back. I'm going to take her arm like this. So now I've got this arm here, and as I shift my weight forward, I'm going to pull this way with my left arm and go that way with my right arm here. So can you just step away, Susan? So what I'm doing is this, right? This. And this movement, this technique is called lie, which, no, hang on, I've got that wrong. Wrong way around, lie, which is a split. It's also the technique we used when you do fist under elbow. No, raise hands. So when you do raise hands, you're actually catching your opponent's elbow, and your one hand's going this way, the other one's going that way. This is split. If you're essentially, imagine you're tearing something. So in this case, let's do that again. The movement that we're doing, okay, so she comes, I catch and deflect. So now I'm here. I'm actually going to strike under her armpit here. So this is a strike. And I'm pulling with the left hand. So you can see this is why I want to have the waist turn to deliver the energy. Yeah, when we get to parting wild horse's mane, we'll talk about the application there. It looks very much the same, but with, actually, why don't we just talk about it? So for parting wild horse's mane, if Susan comes and strikes, I would actually do the same thing, but you can see I'm in a different position, and this is actually a ward off. So actually in wild horse parts its mane, I'm actually doing a ward off, not a split. So even though it looks like the movement ends the same way, the martial art technique is different. Are there any questions? So let's practice that a few times, and then we'll have a quick look and see where we are. So I'm going to go from this side. So we've done the last repulse monkey. So empty stance, right foot forward, right hand up. Shift weight back, circle the arms, step. Now shifting weight forward, right hand up, left hand down, and you're finishing in the bow stance, head up. Check your left arm position. Make sure that it's not behind your side. Let's do that again. We're at the end of step back repulse monkey, left bow stance, right bow stance, right foot forward. Shift weight back, circle the arms, step behind you. Shift weight as you turn the body, diagonal flying. And again. Shift weight back, close the arms as you step. Shift weight forward, head up, looking over the fingertips, left hand in front of the left hip. Keep doing that, and I will watch you. That's looking really good. What I really like, what I'm seeing many of us, and I think maybe all of us doing, is you're keeping your weight back here, and then you're shifting your weight forward as the arm comes up. That's really nice. I'm seeing nice bow stances here. One of the things to just remember when we were practicing standing practice, try and make sure that you open your groin so that your bow stance, you've got a nice arch here, that your legs aren't tilted in. That'll make you more stable. The one thing that I saw a couple of us that we want to work on is with this arm movement, I want you to close, to get into a nice close here and then open. So let's just practice that. I will sort of just face in this sort of direction so that you have something to follow. And don't worry about the footwork. We're just going to do the arm movements. So we've done repulse monkey. So close the arms. So the arms are closed. And make sure that it's a nice closed, yep, and then open. Yes, and try it again. So we've done repulse monkey. Circle the arms, close, open. Yes, and if you can, try, Lorraine and Maria, perhaps, if you can make the movement as big as possible, so really feel if you can get your right arm up with the palm above your shoulder. Yes, that's lovely, Maria. Yeah, Lorraine, yeah, you got it. And then the left palm sitting. So if you can, sit the left palm so that it's parallel to the ground, not that it's tilting like this, it's sitting. So let's do just a couple more times. This is looking really good. Okay, and I will change direction. We'll do a couple more. So from here, end of repulse monkey, circle, close and step, shift forward, open, big open movement, right arm, palm is face height. And again. Shift back weight, circle, palms and elbows over each other, step, and open. Left palm flat parallel to the ground in front of the left hip, in front of you, not behind you. One more. Circle, step out, and sweep up, looking over your fingertips, palm is face height. And stop. Wow, that's a lot of good work, folks. Yes, Maria, go ahead.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
I noticed that the left foot, you pivot at the very last moment, because if I do it ahead of time, I lose balance.
Okay. So is the question, when do you pivot the left foot?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Okay. Very good question. Very good question. Particularly because I always tend to forget to talk about that foot. So I'm very glad that you underlined it. Okay. So from here. So I'm going to step out. And as I shift my weight forward, I pivot. So for example, and so let's say you're not going to do the really wide step. Let's say you're just going to, instead of, so normally, I think we're here, this way. So instead of, normally I want to go to the corner, but let's say I'm just going to aim for a bow stance in this direction. So I'm here, I'm going to step, then as I shift my weight forward, I was bringing my ruler along. As I shift my weight forward, the back foot turns. Does that make sense, Maria?
Yes. The reason I was asking is because does your foot pivot at the same time your arm goes up?
Yes. Yes. Actually, the way I think about it is, and it's the same thing. It's actually what's happening is, as I'm shifting my weight from left to right, my arm is going up and my foot is pivoting. It's actually the way, right? So you can think about it that when you've done your stepping, you're pushing with this back heel to shift your weight from left to right, which is bringing the heel across. And of course, at the same time, your arm is going up. You're 100% right.
Makes sense that way. That's why you can't think of it otherwise.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Excellent question. Well, I'm sorry that I've kept you beyond the top of the hour, but this is a really good practice. This is looking really good, folks. So next week we'll review this, and then we've got a bunch of repeats, more or less. 同学们，再见。
Thank you.